Good evening and welcome to the broadcast tonight. My name is Victor Moyakane. On sign language this evening is none other than Rhoda Nyamai. Now, you have undoubtedly heard that water is life. And some people actually believe that the next world war, or the bulk of the conflicts in the 21st century, will be about resources. Chief among those resources will be water. Some people actually believe we're looking at the age of the water wars. But today is the 21st of this month. Tomorrow marks the International World Water Day. And the 2024 theme for World Water Day is, of course, leveraging water for peace. How can we share this thing that is so important to so many of us? I'll give you some facts. Believe it or not, about 3 billion people out of the 8 or so billion people on Earth, 3 billion people actually live in places where water is shared, either from one community to another, sometimes even one country to another. And the bulk of the bulk of the world actually does not share this water, the cross-border water. Believe it or not, only about 24 countries out of the many countries that actually share water across borders, only 24 of them actually have deals in place to share this water, to share this resource. We want to talk about water and how water can be used to leverage for peace. And tonight we have a gentleman whose entire business is water. We have Dr. Julius Itunga, the CEO of WASREB. We will let you know what WASREB is, and we will let you know what Dr. Julius Itunga is here to talk about, and he's going to be joining me later on the program on Insight Tonight. But first and foremost, the highlights. There was no agreement with the executive on the affordable housing program. Chief Justice Martha Koome dismisses President William Rutos' claims, saying they were taken out of context.
The judiciary was not a party in that cause.
Doctors' Union and the government both dig in their demands on the strike, which is in its 8th day. This as patients continue bearing the greatest brunt.
Hakuna. Daktari wanakusaidia hakuna.
Nimengoja
kutoka saa moja naingia hapa.
And over 1,000 families in 210 area of Cherangany constituency in Trans Nzoia County are living in great fear following invasions as a brawl over land escalates.
Wamekuja na mishale. Watu karibu sio chini ya 40. Wamekuja hapa, wanatembea na mshale. Sisi shamba ya tune na tulali. Wanatumia hii jamaa, wametupika mshale.
Now, good people, I want to thank you for choosing us to inform you this evening of what's happening in your world. And I'd like to invite you as well to share with us your views and reviews on the news. The SMS line will be on your screen. The WhatsApp number as well will be on your screen. And after half an hour, we will be taking in calls for you to talk about the topic of tonight, water and peace. We have the CEO of WASREB right here with us. Please call in, ask him the questions you need to ask about anything and everything to do with water. And with that out of the way, shall we begin? Now, the government and the striking doctors are like two heavyweight boxers in the ring. On one side, the doctors' strike rages on, and with another huge protest planned by KMPDU set for tomorrow. And on the other, the government sticking to its guns, with Health CS Susan Nakhumicha threatening to replace the striking doctors. The knockout punch, however, can only land on one party: the Kenyans. You and I, stuck in the middle. Kisawa Emery tells us more.
Medical interns in Eldoret, Uasin Gishu County, today held massive protests aimed at pressuring the Ministry of Health to release their internship letters, as well as airing their displeasure at the recent salary decrease of medical interns apparently agreed between the Ministry of Health and the Salaries and Remuneration Commission. This comes just a day before a massive strike is set to be conducted by the KMPDU, announced by their Secretary General, Davji Atela. In a surprising turn of events, today, the Principal Secretary for the State Department of Medical Services, Harry Kimtai, announced that the ministry would be giving interns who want posting letters, the said letters, beginning today.
Those who have been using the interns, posting of the interns as the cause for this strike, they should therefore call it off, because as a ministry, we've started posting the interns. And the intern program is voluntary. If you want to take it, you come forth.
This would be under decreased salary terms agreed to by the government and the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, a matter that was still under consideration by the KMPDU Thursday. The ministry has set a deadline of April 1st for the interns to pick their letters. As this battle rolls on, Kenyans are caught in the middle without medical services for more than a week.
Daktari hakuna. Daktari wanakusaidia hakuna.
Mimi naomba tu serikali, President Ruto, tafadhali sikia hii maneno ya watu wenye wanafanya hapa ndani, madaktari.
Fika general hakuna usaidizi nimepewa. Mpaka saa hii nashangaa.
With doctors on strike countrywide and the Ministry of Health giving out a deadline of the 1st of April for interns to pick their letters, someone has to budge for there to be a resolution. Kisewa Emory reporting for TV47 at Afya House, Nairobi.
Thank you, Emery, for that. Now, in other news, at least 1,180 bags of fake fertilizer have been nabbed in Iregi in Kakamega County. The move comes as the Kenya Bureau of Standards continues to tighten its laws, encouraging farmers to report any instance of substandard products. This now puts Kenyans at a risk of lacking food in a few months to come. As Paul Kirobi reports, farmers are now confused and left in doubt on whether there is any goodwill to boost the agriculture sector.
After a series of reports emerging concerning fake fertilizer circulating in the market for some few months now, farmers are now counting losses, and some have started losing hope on whether or not they will make profit after the sale of their produce. A number of them are now complaining over the fake fertilizer in the market, plus the fake seeds that have been purported to be good for the farm. The move is likely to plunge the country into a food crisis in a few months to come.
So kama mbolea itakuja ni mbolea gushi, hii sioni kama hii Kenya tutasaidika. Mwaka ujao watu watalia njaa, watu watakuwa wesi. So hatuoni kama serikali isipodhibiti mambo ya kuleta mbolea gushi, mwaka ujao kuna watu watauana sababu watu watakuwa njaa.
Lakini ile shida tuko naye kwa hii ukulima tuko naye ni mbegu na fertilizer yenyewe. Mbegu zile zinakuja tunaambia hizi ni nzuri, hizi nyingine ni nzuri, ukijaribu zote unakuta hakuna kitu inaendelea. Fertilizer pia iko namna hiyo.
Dhara ambayo tutapata katika nchi hii, tutakosa chakula ya kulisha watu wa nchi hii.
By close of business today, at least another 1,180 bags of fertilizers were nabbed by police officers at Iregi in Kakamega County. The report comes even as the Kenya Bureau of Standards released a statement to newsrooms stating that the product trading in the market by the name GPC Original Plus Organic Fertilizer, manufactured by SBL Innovate Manufacturers Limited, does not meet the requirements of the Kenyan standards. The Kenya Bureau of Standards has asked Kenyans that if they happen to come across a product that does not meet the required standards, they should notify the Bureau immediately and report the matter to Wajibika na KEBS, a program that allows the public to report cases of substandard products. Yesterday, while appearing before legislators, KEBS Managing Director Estangare said the fertilizer in question is neither certified by KEBS nor in the government subsidy program. Paul Kirobi, TV47, Nairobi.
More trouble. Kenyans will have to wait longer for their passports, a challenge which has been orchestrated by the slow pace of passport reforms as well as the slow pace on supply chain limitations exploited by corrupt officials. According to Interior CS Professor Kithure Kindiki, who appeared before legislators, the Regional Integration Committee vendors supplying passport booklets could not meet Kenya's demand for 3 million passport booklets every quarter. As Elizabeth Mutuku reports.
In a meeting with National Assembly Regional Integration Committee, Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki admitted there is a slow pace of passport reforms, blaming the situation on supply chain limitations orchestrated by corrupt officials in the ministry, further vowing to deal with the mess.
Pains me as the minister is when Kenyans pay for a service and they can't get it. That is very, very disheartening. It makes me feel very low. So, but the fees are manageable. They are manageable comparative. But now the challenge is for us to up our service level.
He explained to the members of parliament that the vendors responsible for supplying passport booklets are struggling to keep up with Kenya's demand, which exceeds double the capacity of the suppliers. Currently, they can only manage to supply 1.5 million out of the required 3 million passport booklets every quarter. This shortage has been worsened by difficulties in accessing raw materials and ensuring compliance with international quality control standards.
The picture that we are presenting at Nyayo House is actually disrespectful to the people of Kenya to come there and spend the day there, the whole day, a crowded place, no meals, some young children there, lactating mothers. It is not right.
Kindiki also says the surge in passport applications is fueled by quest for jobs abroad had compounded the situation, driving the backlog to over 1.7 million, with members asking for assurance on when the backlog will be dealt with and normalcy restored.
Problem with the supplier. What will make this committee believe that you really have a problem with the supplies of the passports, or you are just defending yourself, Waziri? We want you to be very clear.
Can you allude to us that there's a problem of implementation in your office? Someone is sleeping on the job. If it's there, who is it? So that the Kenyans can know who is sleeping on that job.
And going forward, anything passports, I'll handle the public communications and I'll take responsibilities for the mess. When the mess is sorted out, everybody else can take the credit.
In the wake of the continued challenges, the CS had instructed the National Intelligence Service to investigate possible vendor wars on the publication and printing of the passport booklet, assuring MPs that within 100 days, the situation would have been dealt with. Elizabeth Mutuku, TV47, Nairobi.
Now, 2 people have been shot dead by armed bandits in Kolowa ward of Baringo County. The incident took place after the Rift Valley Regional Commissioner, that is Abdi Hassan, issued a 24-hour ultimatum to illegal herders in Baringo North. Kolowa Ward MCA Solomon Makal, on his part, denounced the incident, revealing that the 2 victims were killed while harvesting tomatoes. Ribco Ward MCA Daniel Tuit, on his part, called for a multi-community approach to address banditry, emphasizing that lasting peace requires tackling the issue in all the affected areas.
3 peke yake katika Baringo kaskazini ambaye iko na matatizo. Na hii yote imeletwa na watu ambao wanajifanya ni wafugaji na wamekuja katika sehemu hii, na hawa si wafugaji. Hawa ni majangili, ni magaidi ambao wamekuja pale wakisingizia eti wao ni wafugaji na si wafugaji. Kwa hivyo na sisi tunajua wenye ng'ombe tumewapata. Wote wanatoka Tiati, ni familia 11, ng'ombe zao ndio wanachunga katika sehemu hizo. Kwa hivyo tumewaambia hivi, na kwa muda wa masaa 24 hawa wenye ng'ombe ambao wamelete na wakaingiza katika sehemu hii ya Baringo kaskazini, wawarudishe ng'ombe hao mara moja.
Ilifanyika leo kwamba kuna watu walikuwa wana harvest tomatoes. Watu 2 walikuwa na harvest tomatoes, alafu majangili kutoka eneo la Market wakaua hao watu 2. So tumekuja kustumu kitendo hicho.
So, imefika kiwango ambaye imekuwa majabu sasa kuwa sio ng'ombe tena. Hata watu wakulima, watu ambaye wamebadilisha maisha kutoka kufata ng'ombe na kufukuza ng'ombe. Watu wamebadilika na kuanza kufuna nyanya na kuanza kutumia maji ya mto Kerio. So imekuwa maajabu sasa kuwa wale wakulima ambao wamebadilisha mambo ya kufukuza ng'ombe na kufuata ng'ombe na kulima ndio wamekuja kuuawa.
Tonight, Chief Justice Martha Koome has refuted claims that the judiciary reached an agreement with the executive on the implementation of the affordable housing program. This is in the wake of President William Rutos' claims over the weekend in Bomet that there was an agreement on the affordable housing law. The Chief Justice, who spoke in Naivasha, said that the judiciary is independent and cannot be party to a matter before court.
On a week, the Affordable Housing Act has dominated the headlines inside and outside court. Chief Justice Martha Koome, speaking from Naivasha, has denied the existence of an agreement reached between the judiciary and the executive on the affordable housing program, and that the third arm of the government cannot be party to a matter before court.
Judiciary is not in any capacity able to enter into any agreement with the executive, especially in a matter that is before court. The judiciary was not a party in that cause.
Makofi! The CJ was responding to President William Ruto's remarks in Bomet over the weekend, saying the executive has reached an agreement with the judiciary to formulate law on governing the affordable housing program, which is being challenged in the courts.
Jumatatu, mimi naenda kuweka sahihi sheria mpya ambayo tumekubaliana na mahakama ya mambo ya housing, kwa sababu we want to make sure that we do that which is going to change our country.
The CJ, while defending the judiciary, said the president was taken out of context or misquoted on an issue she believes is about compliance with court orders.
But all I could say or deduce from that conversation is that it was taken out of context or there was misinterpretation, because what His Excellency was saying is that he agreed with the judgment of the court.
Apul Kamau, TV47.
Now, employers in Kenya have been directed to deduct 1.5% of employees' gross salaries effective 19th of this month for the affordable housing levy. Also this month, the 2.75% deductions for the Social Health Insurance Fund, aka SHIF, is also set to begin. Our reporter, Sheila Chelangat, takes you through a reminder of how these deductions will impact your payslip.
This March, the take-home pay for salaried Kenyans will lessen as the deductions for the Affordable Housing and Social Health Insurance Fund contributions take effect. Changes which President William Ruto says will boost savings and safeguard the health of workers and their families.
This program will make it possible for a mama mboga who today pays rent at 3,000 to pay 3,000 and own a home in Kenya.
A low-income employee earning a gross salary of 30,000 Kenyan shillings will have to part with 1,275 more after the other statutory deductions, taking home an estimated 25,605 Kenyan shillings. A middle-income earner of a gross salary of 50,000 Kenyan shillings will have an estimated 2,125 more deducted, leaving an estimated net pay of 38,980. And for those earning 100,000, they will lose close to a day's worth of expenditure. The SHIF and house levy deductions will sum up to an estimated 4,250. Those earning 600,000 Kenyan shillings in a month will cede an estimated 25,000 of their take-home salary as the government seeks an additional 350 billion Kenyan shillings in taxes in the upcoming financial year. Non-salaried Kenyans are also required to remit 1.5% of their gross income as housing levy to KRA, the due date for remittance of the levy being the 9th working day after the end of the month. And following the latest legal hurdle on the implementation of the Affordable Housing Law, the High Court declined to issue conservatory orders on housing levy deductions. Sheila Chelangat for TV47.
Now, in an attempt, or rather in an effort to better link his agenda with the Vision 2030 development strategy, President William Ruto has revealed an ambitious plan to reshape the nation by 2027. In the run-up to the 2022 general election, the then Deputy President unveiled his Kenya Kwanza's 7 pillars under the umbrella of the plan. In an effort to revive the economy in a post-COVID era, this was the plan. And as Mike Kagongo reports, the head of state has remained focused since assuming office, as he declared that in order to expedite the creation of jobs, he would decisively depart from the business-as-usual economic policies and implement radical economic changes in a persuasive way. Let's have a look.
President William Ruto's plan to transform the country's economy has since started taking shape, with his economic agenda revolving around his manifesto dubbed the Plan. Prior to the 2022 general election, the Kenya Kwanza coalition unveiled a bold strategy to restructure the economy and achieve sustainable growth while upholding microeconomic stability. Ruto claimed that the reason trickle-down economics failed was that the free market was not fair or free, but rather structured to benefit the privileged and controlled by cartels.
We will run our politics as politicians.
This prompted Dr. Ruto to revise the plan, a 5-point program that sought to implement radical economic reforms in a cohesive manner while striking a firm break with the status quo. The plan was aimed at investing at least 250 billion shillings in 5 years, effective 2023. To boost agriculture and food security, provide 50 billion shillings annually to provide MSMEs with reliable access to credit, build 250,000 new affordable houses every year through public-private partnership, and set up a settlement fund to acquire land and resettle up to 1 million landless families. The Kenya Kwanza government also intended to create a mandatory national insurance fund, establish new level 6 hospitals in 6 new sites, including hiring an initial 20,000 healthcare workers. The plan was also based on constructing a 100,000-kilometer fiber optic connectivity network, bridging current teacher shortage gap within 2 financial years, doubling the amount of money allocated to the school feeding program, among other major plans to transform the country.
President William Ruto says the 4th MTP will strive to strengthen the country's economic sector and create job opportunities in his efforts to reduce poverty before the year 2030.
The 4th medium-term plan, 2023-27, ladies and gentlemen, is an instrument that we will use as a whole of government to deliver on the aspirations that the people of Kenya expect of all of us.
Unveiling the country's 4th MTP, his first since assuming office, covering 2023 to 2027 as he sought to align the bottom-up economic transformation agenda with Vision 2030, Dr. Ruto said growing economic disparity, low productivity and vulnerability to shocks are the issues troubling the economy. The goal of Kenya's Master Development Plan, Vision 2030, which runs from 2008 to 2030, is to make the nation a middle-income, newly industrialization nation. Mike Kagongo, TV47, Nairobi.
His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto.
Now, Interior CS Professor Kithure Kindiki has contacted TikTok through ByteDance Limited, the sole owner of the platform, regarding the level of compliance with the country's rules and regulations on the use of internet and data privacy. This follows concerns over the abuse of the platform in the country, with widespread distribution of sexual content and exposure of minors to inappropriate content.
8 months later, the government, through the Ministry of Interior, has responded to a petition by Bob Ndolo filed in August last year to have TikTok banned in Kenya, a petition that sparked debate among netizens and parliamentarians alike. Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki, in his response while appearing before the Public Petitions Committee, has agreed with Bob Ndolo that indeed the platform has been used by criminals to spread malicious propaganda, identity theft, conduct fraud, as well as aid in the distribution of sexual content.
These risks, as I have enumerated them, Chair and members, pose severe distress in our society. The risks pose severe social distress to users of TikTok. It also exposes minors to inappropriate content and also promotes social discord.
According to the Interior boss, ByteDance Limited, a Chinese multi-billion company that owns TikTok, will be required to respond to a letter that the government has since issued in regards to its dissatisfaction of TikTok's compliance with Kenyan law.
We have also asked them to explain to us the measures that they are taking or they intend to take to ensure the privacy of individuals is respected in accordance with the laws of our country. At the moment, we are not satisfied that there is compliance. We are waiting for the explanation from TikTok.
Despite the pressure on the state to pull the plug on the Chinese-owned social media app, Kindiki noted that it will be premature to ban TikTok in Kenya at the moment without considering the views of the owners as well as the views of its users. Kindiki has hinted on the need for investigations that will need to be carried out in order to weigh the risks and benefits of executing a stern action. Ndolo, in his petition, indicated that TikTok's lack of regulation and its addictive nature could cause a decline in academic performance and a rise in mental health issues among the Kenyan youth.
The Salaries and Remuneration Commission has now admitted that the government is facing a heavy payroll burden, increasing the wage bill. And as our reporter Eric Munene now tells us, the Commission now says it has found a solution to address this issue.
Protocols observed. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I think I just want...
As the national government strives to rein in the growing wage bill amidst revenue shortfalls, certain state corporations have come under scrutiny for duplicating roles needlessly, burdening taxpayers. The Salaries and Remuneration Commission now acknowledging that both the national government and state corporations are overstaffed.
Protocols observed. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I think I just want to...
According to SRC, the crisis in the wage bill is worsened by irregular hiring practices, with approximately 43% of the country's revenue being allocated to salaries, surpassing the 35% limit outlined in the Public Finance Act.
A lot has been done in the management of the public wage bill, and you saw the statistics that it has come down from a high of 54%. We are now at 43%. But we are saying a lot needs to be done to get to the 35% as stipulated in the PFM Act.
Efforts by both national and county governments to implement recommendations from the joint communique of the last National and County Governments Coordinating Summit, endorsed by Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and Council of Governors Chairperson Anne Waiguru, are underway. However, concerns have been raised regarding appointments made outside the bounds of public service mandates.
The Cabinet has already approved the hiring of 1,430 agricultural advisors, one for every ward. You even wonder that as we are struggling, it's a cabinet decision, it has been approved, they want to hire. And you really ask yourself, are we really committed towards having a sustainable wage bill? Because that will be replicating what is already in the counties. We have enough extension officers.
A report by the Public Service Commission reveals that Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and 22 cabinet secretaries hired 250 personal staff during the financial year ending June 2023, bypassing competitive processes. These and other issues are set to be addressed at the upcoming 3rd National Wage Bill Conference, a recommendation stemming from the 10th National and County Governments Coordinating Summit. Even as the Salaries and Remuneration Commission now admits that indeed the national wage bill is too high, the Commission says the 3rd ever National Wage Bill Conference will be solutions-oriented as Kenyans burdened with the high cost of living wait with bated breath to see what kind of solutions will be provided. According to organizers, the conference, which will take place next month, seeks to tackle these and other pressing concerns. Eric Munene, TV47.
Right, and on that note, we want to take a short break. When we come back, we will have more content for you, particularly on Insight Tonight. I told you we have WASREB in the house. The CEO, Dr. Julius Itunga, is with us, and we're going to talk about life, especially water, because water is life. This year, tomorrow actually, we're marking the World Water Day, and the theme is all about leveraging water for peace. And that's what Dr.